Hello and welcome to part 6 of this Sculpting a Miniature series. I've recently invested in some basic audio equipment, so hopefully you will notice some improvement in this area. Let's continue to develop our Wood Elf Ranger. Starting with the Wristguards, you will notice initially the very low resolution here. Once we have the shape right, with grab and snake hook, we can remesh and use pinch and scrape to refine this hard surface shape. Shaping the foot further, with the left one we will need a sharp bend in the toes. This can be achieved by masking out most of the foot, setting the pivot point to under the cursor, then rotating the toes at this point. When objects overlap, it's important to ensure they overlap fully. You can see me filling out the underside of the clothes here to ensure there's a good overlap with the thigh. When we prepare this for print in the future, this will avoid any cavities in the model. Our tree trunk has been mostly untouched since we set its initial shape in the beginning. This needs some extra details later on to further convince the viewer of what it is. While the necklace is looking good, I thought at this point it may be a little too complex for this basic stylized look we are going for, so the previous attempt can be duplicated and hidden so we can try something new. Separating out the object into two using mass slice and fill holes will allow us to sculpt the parts of the necklace with more control. The face still needs much more work. Let's make a duplicate of the head and ears to try something new. Then, while selecting these objects, hit the / to focus on those only. At this point, I'm looking at a variety of different references for elf-like faces to try and capture the look. PureRef is a program I use to manage my reference images. Find the link in the description. The cheekbones are a prominent feature for the elf look. We can use clay strips to slowly build this up Take your time getting the head shape right. This is the base for all of our facial features, and if anything is off, it will show as we get further into the details. I am using a much lower strength on the brushes here, so I can steadily build up without being too drastic with my changes. Something I have not mentioned yet is the little view I use in the bottom right corner. This is to get an overview of the entire model at all times. We can glance at this to check the silhouette and see how it looks smaller and from a distance, essential for miniatures. Forming the lips here is a great example of how you can maintain a low resolution while still getting in some finer details. The front face of the lips is only a few polygons thick. When things are at such a low resolution, the brush snaps to each polygon corner, so you will see which one you will be changing. Using the mask, we can select a single facial feature to resize. Use Set Pivot to under the cursor here too, so it is resized from the center of the lips. I have this command set to Right Alt and P, so I can set the pivot while hovering over the area I want to use. Digging in the corners of the mouth with Draw Sharp really goes a long way to defining the mouth. Remember to try and keep that cylindrical shape for the mouth, as it's easy for this part to become flat. The smallest tweak to the corners can even create a little smile. The eyes are a sphere with the mirror modifier applied. Once in place, we can sketch out the eyelids on our head object. We will need a higher resolution to start this area, as the eyelids are quite detailed. You could use separate objects for these, but I have not found much success with this approach yet. Pinch and scrape help us define the eyelid edge. Clay strips and Draw Sharp can allow us to add some weight and realism to the corners of the mouth. Females typically have a fatter and smoother underside of the eyebrow ridge. Also, keep the jawline smooth. This will help your face look more feminine. let's get the new head in place. I use an add-on called Copy Attributes Menu. This comes pre-installed with Blender, but you will need to enable it in the menu. This allows you to quickly copy the location and rotation of an object. We will need to reposition the hair and features. Well, that just about does it for another part of this series. As always, don't forget to check out my Patreon. With your support, I can give you early access to these videos and various free miniatures too. Thanks again to my supporters, I really appreciate it. See you in the next part.